start there.
No, I'm enjoying this. All right, hey, welcome to another episode of Mayberry Memories. I'm Dave.
I'm Steve.
And there was a reason why you were
strumming the guitar.
Strumming the guitar, right?
Yeah, and I think you had some requests on your channels.
Right.
Channel comments for us to do a review of a couple of episodes featuring James Best.
Right, and these episodes were about...
Well, the first episode is episode 3, called The Guitar Player.
Right, and it was also The Guitar Player Returns is episode 31.
Guitar Player Returns, yes. Comes back to memory.
Like Batman Returns.
Just like Batman Returns.
Just like that. So anyway, we're going to talk for Lisa in New Zealand. We're going to talk about those two episodes, in particular about James Best, and he is... Turns out, I did not realize this, but one of the most prolific actors that there ever was in Hollywood. He didn't have that fame that some had. But...
Absolutely, but most people, if they know who, most people know who he is. They may not know the name James Best,
right?
But they know.
Can you do the laugh?
Is that it?
Roscoe Pico
Train from the Dukes of Hazzard.
From the Dukes of Hazzard.
But an early acting career. He appeared in a lot of various TV shows,
including movies,
including 2 episodes of the first season of the Andy Griffith Show.
2 great episodes. So we'll start with episode 3, The Guitar Player.
Episode 3, The Guitar Player. Fun episode, and James Best playing the guitar on the street.
Frequently locked up, apparently.
Frequently locked up for disturbing the peace.
Right.
Although it didn't really seem like it's disturbing the peace because there was quite the crowd gathered around listening to him jam on his acoustic guitar.
Right. Now you have a beef about
I kind of do,
right?
because while he's playing on an acoustic guitar, the music that you hear is definitely an electric guitar.
Yeah, there's no way around that.
There's no way around it, so it's definitely not him playing the guitar.
But Andy arrests him really for the sole purpose of bringing him into the jail and jamming. I think he just wants to jam with him.
We know that Andy Griffith, Sheriff Taylor, was a fairly accomplished musician himself.
Right. By no means was he as good as the guitar player, though. He was kind of doing the rhythm thing, whereas James Best or his stand-in, because I believe it's well documented that although James did do some of the playing, you can see it would frequently... The cameras would zoom in on the finger work and all that kind of stuff, and that was not James Best.
No, I'm sure they had someone standing in.
Right.
A hand double, you might say.
Right.
A guitar double.
Someone a little more talented.
Yes. But, for the most part, James Best did a pretty good job of faking it.
He did. It really did. It was one of those things where as I watched it the second time in preparation for this episode, or this episode of the podcast, watching it, he obviously had some skill and was able to mimic fairly accurately the hand motion for the guitar work. So
yes, he did. So kudos to him for putting in the work. Maybe he had a little bit of guitar background already, but he definitely made it look like he was playing.
Right. So overall thoughts on the first episode?
Well, it was fun, and I actually quite enjoyed and thought the group of traveling musicians that came to town, Bobby Fleet and his traveling band. I thought they were funny. Bobby Fleet was very funny, played by I think a guy named Henry Slate in that first episode. I looked it up because in episode 31 it's a different actor playing Bobby Fleet, and not as funny as the guy from episode 3. So I thought it was fun, and Andy's ploy to arrest them, to get them to hire and hear Lindsey. I think the guy's name was Lindsey something or the other.
That might have been his last name.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, Jimmy Lindsey or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I thought it was fun, and just a lot of opportunity for Andy Griffith to play the guitar with.
Right.
With this guy. Yeah.
Speaking of that, one of the things that I love about the Andy Griffith Show, I was thinking about this the other day. I was rewatching the Ernest T. Bass episodes, and that's where you meet the Darling family, the Hillbillies.
Yep.
It's just one of the things that it dawned on me. One of the things I love about the Griffith Show is the music.
Yeah, it's an integral part of the show. Is the music throughout, or especially the early seasons.
Yeah. Exactly. I think it is the first few seasons.
And he'll sit out on the porch towards the end, and he'll be strumming the guitar, playing a little song.
Yeah.
People always singing, and it does again harken to simpler times before a lot of the entertainment that we have today, where people would sit out on their porch. At least to me,
slower pace, right?
Slower pace, and there's something attractive about it in this kind of fast-paced times that we live in.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So let's move on to episode 31 of season 1, which is The Guitar Player Returns.
Guitar player.
Jim Lindsey, or whatever his name is.
It's Jim Lindsey,
I think it is Jim Lindsey, is back in town.
Back in town, wanting everybody to think he's been really hit it off, very successful, but he's left the band that he was hired
that's his
to be
secret
part
shame,
of.
right?
Yeah, that's his shame, because he's really running out of money.
He's run out of cash.
And he's living high on the hog.
Yep. He's got a fancy car.
He's living on a Cadillac budget. Or he's living a Cadillac life on a probably
no budget.
No budget.
Yes. Yeah, and so the lesson on that one was there really was a message around pride. He had gotten a little bit full of himself and had made some demands of Bobby Fleet.
Yes.
And Bobby, although he respected him as a musician, it was his band, and he basically said, "Hit the road.
Hit the road. You're not as talented as you think you are."
Yep.
And we'll go without you. So, of course, Andy intervened and got them all back together, and they were able to.
And by the end of the episode, once again, I actually think we got a musical piece in the middle of the episode at Andy's house, and then another musical piece towards the end of the episode.
Exactly.
It's good stuff.
And in one of those musical pieces, I think even Barney Fife might have joined in on some vocals, which later on in the show they try to make it seem like he can't sing, like Don Knotts can't sing.
Right.
But he actually does sing pretty good.
Yeah. Is that where he's in? It's towards the tail end. He wants to also play harmonica.
No,
and they put him into jail. They lock him up.
There is a spot where they sing a song,
right?
And I can't remember. Barney.
That's in the middle.
Barney chimes in, and he does a pretty good job.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say. I was going to say what you want about Don Knotts.
Don't say that. No, there's somebody that gets very offended when you say
it. It does infer that there's something wrong with the person.
You and I have both made it known that we think Don Knotts very talented. And really helped make the show what it was.
Yeah, well, it just wasn't the same without him. I feel bad for, there's a lot of harshness for the guy that took his place, that guy that played Warren, the deputy.
Right.
I feel bad. I mean, it's almost like the whole Steve Perry thing. It's almost
you can't fill in the shoes of Don Knotts. It's like the guy filling in for Steve Perry's Parnell.
Good, he's good, Arnell.
Yeah,
Arnell. Yeah. He's great, but he's not Steve Perry, and no one could be as great as Deputy Barney Fife.
Right.
Or as hilarious. All right, what else? Any parting thoughts?
No. I did think of one last thought is I thought that they tried to make this character a bit like Elvis Presley, who was probably
a little bit,
probably very popular at the time. But definitely, he was king.
Right. Yep. I think you're right. I think they were trying to cash in a little bit on the popularity of the king. My parting thought would be about James Best, the actor. I was reading some comments that John Schneider, from Dukes of Hazzard fame. Duke, right? Or was he Bo?
He's Bo.
He's Bo Duke. Sorry, John. Should have that straight by now. But Bo Duke was saying, he was talking about James after James passing. He passed away about 3 years ago, I think, in 2015. And said he was absolutely one of the finest human beings that he'd ever had the chance to work with. And it had been an honor for him to kind of be able to hone his craft with James, working with him on the Dukes of Hazzard.
And all those years.
You can see that. I mean, it really, by the time James Best hit the Dukes of Hazzard in the late 70s, right?
Yeah.
He was clicking on all cylinders. He really was, not to compare him to Don Knotts, but he was to the Dukes of Hazzard what Don Knotts was to Andy Griffith. So I can't imagine
the Dukes of Hazzard without
Sheriff Roscoe Peakleton.
Yeah.
And he always walked that line, right, between, he was chasing after the Dukes, doing Boss Hogg's bidding, but at the same time, very empathetic to Bo and Luke.
Yeah.
And it was a great character, and James did absolutely the best with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Loved it. Yeah. But this is not a show about the Dukes of Hazzard. It's about
Maybe another channel, another day.
Yeah, it's about the Andy Griffith Show. And those 2 episodes really are a treat to watch.
They are.
A lot of fun.
So thanks for the suggestion.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. Appreciate it. And I would encourage anyone that has a particular episode that you'd like us to review or talk about to leave that in the comments section.
We'll get to it.
We will get to it. Other comments are welcome as well.
And then, as always,
don't forget to subscribe.
And thank you for watching.
Thank you so much for watching.